Beautiful friends, it's me, Nemuna, coming to you live from, well, not really live, from my couch and social distancing slash self quarantine. Yeah, I just wanted to check in because this shit is crazy. But, I'm trying to stay positive, and I feel like there's so much that we can do. There's Lulu, say hi. There's so much that we can do to take advantage of this time instead of just like, wallowing and being bored um, and feeling isolated. And so, for all of you out there that are thinking of auditioning for grad schools this year, um, in many months now, now might be a good time to just start thinking about it so that you have kind of a head start on this next season coming up. So I wanted to just kind of talk through some of the things that you can do now to kind of get started. um, and the first thing that I think you should do, because a lot of people don't even have the answer to this when they are actually auditioning, and I think it's actually the most important thing, is to just really sit with yourself and maybe even write down why it is that you want to go to grad school. What is your why? Okay. Um, and your why shouldn't be, I don't know what to do with my life, and so I feel like I should go back to school. Not a strong enough why. Um, my why, for example, when I was auditioning for grad schools, deciding to audition, was that I went to a school that was a BA instead of a BFA. And so I obviously got theater training, but I felt like I needed a lot more specific training. I didn't really get training in classical work, Shakespeare, Moliere, those things. And most of the practical work that I had gotten was through doing shows, not necessarily like in class practical work, like movement, voice and dialects, things like that. And I knew that I wanted to get that specific conservatory type training before I went out into the real world. So that was my why. Maybe your why, and this isn't super strong, but I guess it is if you're super passionate about it. Maybe your why is that you want to be a drama teacher, like a college level professor. And so you want to get your master's degree and you want to, learn those skills in order to be able to teach. That's a really good why. Um, yeah. So just, I want you to actually take the time to like get a piece of paper and a pen and write down what your why is. Um, and think of it as like if somebody was interviewing you in like kind of a callback situation and they asked you why you want to go to grad school, write it down like that in like answer form to like an actual person. So that's your number one. I think you need to do that before you do anything else. Now, the second thing that I want you to do once you figured out your why is I want you to do some research on schools that fit that why. So, for example, like if your why is I want to be a classical actor, I want to focus on Shakespeare, then think about kind of do research on schools that are specifically going to give you training in that. So one that comes to the top of my head right now is the Old Globe in San Francisco. They really focus on classical training. Sorry, somebody called me, but here I am. Kind of do research on those specific schools that fit your why. Okay, that's your number two. Your number three thing is to read a lot of plays and find pieces that resonate with you. And the great thing about starting early is that you don't have to be freaked out and on a time crunch for this, because that's why people, honestly, I think that's why a lot of people don't get into grad school, is because they've waited to find pieces until the last moment. And so they end up just like choosing monologues that they're like, okay, I guess this will work, but they're not actually passionate about it. And what I found through coaching people for grad school auditions is that the people that love their pieces and have fun with them honestly do the best work and get into the school of their dreams most often. So start now, read plays. If you're not sure where to start, ask your friends and family or reach out to a coach, me or somebody else, about like these are the things that I love, this is the kind of work that I love, and maybe they can send you some other plays or names of playwrights to check out that might fit what you're looking for. So that's your number three thing. And that could take you, all the way to the end of this pandemic crisis is like, pick a play a day or choose a playwright and decide to read all of their plays in the next 2 months. And then, to keep a running list of plays and monologues that you love. Um, yeah, so that's your number three. Your number four thing. Yeah, so your number four thing is after you've kind of, done all this research on plays and playwrights and things, then, and you have kind of a list of the things that you love, really pick material, like pick pieces. And what I think the safest thing to do is to have 6 pieces that you love. Yeah, so that's your main classical and contemporary, and then your second classical and contemporary, and then you're like just in case classical and contemporary. Yeah. So you're going to want to have at least one comedic and one dramatic classical and one comedic and one dramatic contemporary. And then I often say for like your extras to do something that like showcases a special skill or something if you have it. So for example, one of my coaching clients this year speaks Spanish. So one of her extras was a monologue all in Spanish. So cool. If you're really good at a dialect, especially one that not a lot of people can do, have that as your kind of extra piece. Yeah. So as you're looking through materials, keep that stuff in mind. If you find a piece that you really love, that you're so passionate about, and it's a comedic contemporary piece, then great. Then you can kind of cross that off the list and start looking for dramatic contemporary pieces and comedic classical pieces and things like that. So that's step 4, is to like really solidify these are the pieces. Yeah. And then step 5 is to start working on them. And you start with memorizing them, reading through them first and kind of, dissecting them, figuring out what's going on in the piece, all that jazz, memorizing them, and then find somebody to help work on these pieces with. Once we're out of the pandemic crisis, maybe you can find a class or something where you can work on that stuff. You can reach out to a coach if you want to do that. And you can also, just find friends and maybe somebody else even that's deciding to do grad school auditions this year too. And you guys can kind of be accountability buddies and help check in and be like, hey, have you found your pieces yet? Have you found any plays? Hey, I found this great monologue. It's not right for me, but maybe it's right for you. And then, you can even do, virtual kind of meetups with one another to kind of talk through where you are in the process, and even kind of go through some of your monologue choices with each other and talk through what's happening and all that jazz. So that's what I got for you today. I hope that that's helpful. I hope that that gives you something to work on during this social distancing, self-quarantine phase. This is so crazy. I feel crazy, but I know that having a goal has been really helping me. Also, take this time to really do some self-care. What you're going to need for grad school auditions is not just the work that you've done, but also feeling comfortable and grounded in yourself, in your health, in your body, and all that jazz. So, I'm doing a lot of self-care stuff right now, taking baths, doing skin stuff, sheet masks, trying to do yoga and get a walk in every day. Stay 6 feet away from everybody though. Eat healthy. Those things are going to be just as important as the material that you find. So, if you have any questions, hit me up. My website is nemunarcise.com/coaching. I'm doing an offer right now through the end of this crazy pandemic, half off virtual coaching sessions. I usually use Skype, but anything that works for you. So that's $50 an hour. And if you really need some coaching, but that's too expensive for you, just let me know. We can work something out. Also, if you're, trying to go to some EPAs or something after this and you need somebody to help reformat your resume or look at any of your material, hit me up for that as well. I'm doing $10 for reformatting a resume, which is awesome, really good deal. And I'm also doing free consulting calls and free help with kind of finding some material. So even if you're not thinking of doing grad school auditions, if you just want help kind of finding some new material for when auditions come back up and running, which hopefully will be sooner rather than later, hit me up and I'll help you with finding some pieces for free. So, yeah, let me know if I can help you. Good luck. We've got this. Stay productive if that's what you want to do, or just get some relaxation in if that's what you want to do too. Definitely get some sunlight though. Okay? I love you all. Good luck. Again, nemunarcisse.com/acting if you just want to chat or need any help with anything. Okay, here we go.